went up like a big fireball.
The deadliest hot air balloon crash in American history, happening right here in Central Texas.
Significant loss of life.
With 16 people dead, tonight we look at the company that owned the balloon. What's next in the investigation?
We'll be here for the long haul, whatever they need.
And how the families of those on board are being helped. Good evening, I'm Erin Cargile. We are getting our first look at a new photo, what could possibly be the last photo of the hot air balloon before it crashed near Lockhart. Take a look. This is from Erica Gonzalez. She took it just before 7:30 this morning, less than 20 minutes before the crash. The balloon belongs to the Heart of Texas hot air balloon rides. We are told that balloon went down just before 8 this morning in Caldwell County, a few miles west of Lockhart. Our KXAN's Lauren Lanneman has been on the scene all day. She tells me that crews were out until about 30 minutes ago, working in the dark with their lights on. But just about 30 minutes ago, those crews left the scene for the night. But of course, this remains an active investigation and will be ongoing for days to come. State Representative John Cyrier lives just 4 miles from the scene. He is an airplane pilot and tells us he has been in the air with this hot air balloon before.
State Representative John Cyrier was traveling back to Texas from Chicago when he received a text that 16 people died in a hot air balloon crash just a few miles from his ranch.
I immediately saw Lockhart and balloon, and my thoughts kind of went actually to this balloon.
Representative Cyrier is also a pilot and says he's seen the smiling hot air balloon many times.
Taking photos of it, and it's just it's hard for me to to believe right now that something so beautiful and peaceful could end so tragic.
Margaret Wiley lives just across the street from the crash site. She describes it just as that, tragic, and says she will always remember the sound she heard when she looked out her front door early Saturday morning.
Pop before I stepped out the door. And then I heard another pop, and I'm looking around to see who's shooting because it sounded like a gun going off. And then I looked off over there, and the next thing I knew, you saw a big fireball go up. And it's just praying that whoever was there got away from the thing in time.
Others living in the area say it's hard to believe what has happened to something they have become so familiar with throughout the years.
You go and you just look at them from far away and wonder, wow, they're having such a great time. They're really having fun.
A moment meant for fun, ending in tragedy.
It's going to be a part of our history, I'm afraid, but something, like I said, we will never forget this.
That was Lauren Landman reporting. As we just heard, Margaret told her she heard those popping sounds. No one has confirmed the balloon hit power lines, but Lauren tells us there are large transmission lines out there at the scene. They are owned by the Lower Colorado River Authority. We checked with LCRA. A spokesperson tells us 2 circuits tripped in the area this morning, but beyond that, they will only say the NTSB is investigating. We've also been looking into the company that ran the balloon rides. KXAN investigator Kevin Schwaller shows us what he's learning.
Ann Payne immediately recognized the balloon in this picture.
Especially early in the morning on my way into work, I would see it drifting up and across the sky.
Multiple online listings, including the Better Business Bureau, show Skip Nichols is the owner of Heart of Texas hot air balloon rides. According to his Facebook page, a former passenger, and other online sources, Skip Nichols was also a pilot for the company. Neighbors confirm this is where Skip lives. They say the business kept a truck here with equipment for the rides. The Heart of Texas Hot Air Balloon Rides website states the flights usually take about an hour. The company takes off with 2 hours of fuel and 30 minutes of reserve. The crew uses about 60 different launch locations. It also states a chase crew on the ground follows the balloon and uses radios to stay in contact with the pilot in the air.
Very sad situation, and especially involving that many people.
Now neighbors are anxiously waiting to find out more about what happened as they learn about the lives lost. As they see the images of the balloon on the ground they are so used to seeing flying high. Kevin Schwaller, KXAN, investigates.
Again, no names of the victims have been confirmed. Authorities have not confirmed if Skip Nichols was the pilot on this trip. Nichols was not at his home when Kevin stopped by this afternoon. 16 deaths makes today's crash the deadliest in American history and the second deadliest in the world. The only crash with a higher death toll happened in 2013 when 19 people died in Egypt. It was coming into land when a cable got wrapped around a gas can, causing the balloon to rise. It exploded 1,000 feet above the ground. 2 people on board survived. The deadliest in U.S. history before today happened in 1993. That was when a balloon in Colorado hit power lines in Aspen. The basket then fell to the ground, killing all 6 people inside. Our meteorologist Rosie Newberry has been looking into what conditions were like near the crash site this morning. Rosie.
Thank you, Erin. Looking at those conditions and showing you another map, another view of where this crash happened. It's over in Caldwell County, just east of Maxwell, east of San Marcos, and just to the west of Lockhart. Wanted to note that the closest reliable information that we get is from the San Marcos Regional Airport. It's not all that far away. It's just about 10 miles. But this morning, just before liftoff, 6:15 a.m., things looked really good. Clear skies, southeast wind only 3 miles per hour, 71 degrees. However, the dew point was also 71 degrees, which means it was more likely that there was fog in the area. And sure enough, ground visibility, which is perfect at 10 statute miles, was only 3 miles at liftoff, and mist was reported at the San Marcos Regional Airport for the next 4 hours. So here's just a quick look at the fog forecast from this morning. It was exactly on target, 2 to 4 miles of visibility, not ideal for flying conditions. And wanted to show you as well, we've heard from a pilot today who said he canceled some of his trips this morning because the winds were expected to be so intense. They weren't surface winds, which are forecast to be light, and they were. It was the winds that are higher altitude, not ideal for flying conditions. Of course, as Erin noted, the NTSB will investigate.